Hello, Aaron Janus here with your February market update. I guess the easiest thing would just be to say the market's bananas, but I'll add a little more color to that commentary. Just ran our numbers, as you can see here, and people ask me what's going on in the market. I talk a lot about absorption rate, and then after their eyes are done glazing over, I explain to them what that means. And the absorption rate really tells the full story about what's happening. So in the summertime, springtime, there's always more activity. There's always more typically always more listings, and there's more sales. In the wintertime, the reverse is typically true. But the absorption rate tells the story about how those things relate, how the buyers and sellers relate to each other. And since 2012, if your absorption rate is above 31%, that's a seller's market. And January 2012 is when we crossed that threshold to 33%. And suffice it to say, we are now in the sixth year of this seller's market. And with very few exceptions, year over year, every month, it's become more of a seller's market the following year. Just to give you an example, January of 2016, we were at a 98% absorption rate. This past January, 2017, 132%. So what that means is 132% absorption rate means of all the homes that came on in January, 100% of them sold, plus 32% of the standing inventory. So that's not super sustainable. Because eventually we will run out of homes. Now we're coming into spring and more people are going to list, but more buyers come. So that's why looking at that absorption rate is pretty helpful, because you can kind of tease out the difference between the supply and demand as it relates to how quickly things are selling. You know, it's funny, but people often say, well, that must make your job easier as a listing agent. And by the way, I'm coming to you from a beautifully staged new listing that's coming up in Beacon Hill, which you'll hear more about. But I had them do a full paint inside, had a little bit of work done, and having it fully staged, because despite how hot the market is, we're still going to net a whole lot more money and hopefully get into a bidding war by doing these extra things. So despite the fact it's a big seller's market, you still need to do the fundamental things that you do in any market as a seller to get the top dollar for your home in the least amount of time. So anyway, that's the data. If anybody has more questions, wants to dig a little bit deeper into that, love to have those conversations. Overall, there's about 2 weeks of inventory across King County, but your neighborhood may be different. So I'm here for you if you have any questions. And again, I like to do these every month, probably going to do it mid-month going forward. But if you have questions that you'd like me to address, just shoot me an email and let me know, and I'll address it next month. All right. Thank you so much, and take care.